Hello everybody and welcome back to MDG Media, the premier channel, one-stop shop for European disc golf coverage. We are bringing you 2025 European Disc Golf Festival MPO second feature card back 9. We've had some scorching hot starts. We'd have some bit of roller coaster starts already. Roller coaster commentary booth, not really. I'm Connor Wood and with me, Mr. Elias Luukkonen.
What up, Connor? What's up, viewers? We are far from a roller coaster, but the height of our studio might as well be a roller coaster. As you can see, hole 1 and hole 18 on the background. It's looking beautiful here. As the entire course is, Estonians really know how to put up a disc golf tournament. Huge venue, legendary venue even. You might have seen a lot of big artists playing on the same site before. As you can see, the scores from the front 9 are card doing some incredible stuff. Paul McBeth trying to match the -16 course record from last year from Ricky Wysocki. Of course, new layout this year, so new course record going to be the case if he shoots that 16 under. Starting on hole number 10, 195 meters. It's a very scoreable par 4. You want to throw something straight, nice low ceiling shot here, usually a distance driver. Trying to get past these last trees on the fairway, somewhere near this pole is a really good drive. And then from there, you really just have a cheap approach. We're not linked to the first basket here, but rather to the second one in the trees here. Really only one tree to miss, whether you go for the backhand hyzer or the forehand hyzer on the second shot. I'd say it's a hole that these guys definitely have to birdie if they want to keep pace with the best of the field.
Quite an inside release for Paul here. Gets a flare skip as well, and on a shot that is playing very friendly. The generous fairway, that initial gap not really coming into play. That is a surprise, particularly with his form through the front 9. Paul finds that left OB. Isaac shaping a nice flex, will push the ceiling, gets slowed down as a result, will be just shy of that grass pad. Perfectly reasonable shot.
And a nice run-up. He has actually landed on the artificial turf golf green or mini golf green. As Mauri there, not the longest of shots, but also in position. You really don't need a lot of distance. You would like to get past all of the trees on the fairway to give yourself an open approach. But even if you hit the trees early, have 100 meters to the green, you're going to be just fine.
AB as well, pushing that left side, but keeps it in bounds. Paul now playing from a drop zone.
So I guess Paul must have missed the Mando. There is a Mando on the left side of the fairway. And gets a pretty terrible break on the green. That is honestly shocking. The shot wasn't too bad. He just barely pulled it to the right. But getting a roll OB?
The errors now compounding for Paul. Mauri skips it just a bit long. We have seen him already deliver from C2 this round. We'll see if he can continue being in his comfort there. Isaac, a smooth and simple swing, makes the gap look huge. Textbook execution from Isaac here on hole 10.
Yeah, Isaac's been playing really smooth on the front. Not perfect, but really not making that many mistakes. As Anthony Barela park for birdie. It's a hole that you would like to be parked for birdie, not a hole that you would like to be putting for bogey from 20 meters out, as Paul McBeth has done. And only 3 players on this hole were able to get a double bogey or worse, as Mauri Villmann once again. We talked about this casual putting stroke between him and Isaac, and I really can't tell which one of them is looking easier on the green right now.
He is him here today. We take another look. Perfection in flight, perfection in delivery in front of the home crowd.
And let's see quite a similar form from Isaac here. dead center. He's got to be 7 under, good pace. Or if you're counting pars on this course, as some of the better players might be, 3 pars, or a score worth of 3 pars, as Paul taking one of only 3 double bogeys on the day on this course, or this hole, excuse me. That is pretty shocking.
That hurts, particularly hole 10. Really a manageable birdie. Compounding errors for Paul, but he has the heart of a champion. We'll see him look to bounce back here. Hole 11, par 4, 225 meters. You have this initial narrow fairway. OB lines the left and the right. It then widens as the fairway doglegs over to the right. A good tee shot will land somewhere around here, leaving you a straight look out into the open field. Another hole with 2 potential basket placements we will play this weekend. This is the straight one, as well as off to the right. We will see in future rounds here. This one playing on the friendlier side compared to the other, I would say. And this is a hole that once you get a good tee shot, it's fairly easy, but it's quite a precise landing zone that you'd like to be in for an ideal second shot. Oftentimes you have a bit of a scramble as a result of a tree kick or an imperfect landing, but it's there. If you can get around the corner, it's there.
Isaac with a backhand there. He's a really good backhand thrower for this kind of shot. But still on this hole, I'd say the forehand throwers are at an advantage. Not Mauri though, as that's an early release and an OB. Pretty rare to find OB with the forehand, as the shot is pretty safe. Even if you hit that building like AB did, usually ending up safe. That's going to be the case for him as well.
Paul, a player who really at the top of his game would fight so hard, particularly after an imperfect performance on a previous hole. We would see him get super aggressive. That one catches the lights hanging. Does get to a position where he's inbounds, he's center fairway. Mauri cutting the corner of this fairway now, trying to bite off as much distance as possible, and a great flare skip to finish. He'll be about circle 2's edge, maybe just outside.
Yeah, very, very impressive shot. I'd say that's probably the best he can do from there. And Paul, low sailing flex forehand here, probably 125 to go. So still a lot of distance. It's playing just slightly downhill on the second shot. And he's going to be short. You know, it's really, even to this easier pin position, if your drive isn't perfect, you have a really difficult approach.
AB shaping the standstill backhand. That was a lot of distance on that shot. He shaped it well, but didn't quite complete the full flex fade, not hitting in time. Does make good progress though. Isaac, you mentioned how this shot shapes naturally for his desired release angle on the backhand. We see that on display there. We go now to Paul. A long stab at the birdie, but ultimately just a layup.
Oh, a huge putt once again. The biggest one we have seen so far, and the man is just unstoppable on the green.
This is crazy. Such a pleasure to watch here in his home country as well. Just absolutely gnarly putts. To save par like that from an early OB is something so few players will do. Mauri really pulling something special out there. Isaac just playing the hole cleanly the entire way. For both Paul and Anthony, par without the OB stroke, most likely.
Really not a bad hole to get that par. It's not a particularly difficult hole. It's still playing below par. But for this course's standards, it is one of the more difficult ones. Just barely under par on average. As we talked about on the front nine, most of the holes on this course, you would really like the birdie. And only 2 holes on the course that were averaging over par, holes 7 and 8, are already in the past. And every single hole on the back nine is gonna be averaging below par. As is hole number 12, 215 meters, par 4. A little change from last year. It used to be 140 meter, par 3. This time you have to throw 2 good shots to get the birdie. Usually a hyzer off the tee, A really good drive will land somewhere near the second tier, this little stone wall. And if you can maybe even be touching the stone wall, that is really ideal. You have less of a low ceiling on the second shot, or another option on this hole is to throw a shorter hyzer drive and then go for a huge hyzer on the second shot around the outside to the left, to the right. Really a couple of choices here to make, but most often we see that longer drive off the tee and then that low ceiling straight shot on the second.
And there's two significant changes to the design this year from previous years. This initial landing zone has been widened. It used to be much skinnier where we saw Isaac just land, but as a balancing of the difficulty, they've also moved the basket further back than it was historically. And I think, Elias, we have the best version of this hole that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree. I remember playing this in the 2023 European Championships, junior version for myself that time, and it was back then, it was a very difficult feeling hole. Now feeling slightly easier, but hard to say if it's because of the hole has changed or because of the disc golf has changed. As we see, everybody going for some short drives here. Nobody really pushing the second tier wall. And I'm really interested to see if we're gonna see that big hyzer. Looks like AB is lining exactly that shot up.
And these late coniferous trees are a huge barrier. To go around them from where he is, you need absolutely insane power. And he's got around them, but still short. That is a very common result here, given that the basket is pushed back. Also, particularly on this gap for Mauri, he has the low ceiling, the high floor. It's really difficult to get as much distance as you would like. That one abruptly ended, though. Isaac also shaping the hyzer.
Yeah, not being known for his distance. But let's see if he got it from here. Probably still 105 meters to go. I mean, he's in circle 2. Distance wasn't really the problem, but on this hyzer you can actually push it surprisingly wide. Even though the OB on the right side might feel scary, you have to throw it pretty wide if you want to park the basket.
Paul, I would say, had the best execution of that hyzer in terms of a width and distance. We go to Mauri's third now, looking to clean up the par. Very strong forehand approach player. That one he'll be a bit frustrated with, but ultimately is within the circle.
Let's see some big putts here. Isaac! Our casual putters on the court are just continuing the absolute putting showcase. He's 9 under already. 6 holes left to go.
AB also connecting. These guys dropping heat on the green. He is now 7 under. Paul connecting as well. His first birdie on the back 9. Looking to recover from that unfortunate hole 10 incident. But you can see still tied with Anthony despite taking those extra strokes.
Yeah, Paul is definitely experienced enough where he must know that even after that double bogey, I mean, he's absolutely in play to win the tournament, even lead the tournament after this round. In every hole that we have coming up is very birdieable for this level of player that we have on the card. So it's not like, and we have 3 rounds after this, it's still more than a full tournament left.
Hey guys, quick pause. A lot of people are involved in this project. Our goal is to grow the sport and share it with as many people as possible. So if you want to support us, subscribe to the channel, like and comment the videos if you like them, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. It seems small, but it really helps us keep creating free content on YouTube. Enjoy the video.
We proceed here to hole 13, 150 meter par 3. This one requiring a lot of power and accuracy. You have this initial opening here, right of this structure. You have OB lining the right side along the fence the entire way, and then it plays softly downhill once you get over this initial crest. A lot of players are going to have to push around a minimum of 125 or 30 meters to get to this widening of the inbounds area up here on the green. For the biggest arms, it's going to play as just a big hyzer. Otherwise, you'll look to shape, potentially flex something, but that brings in the OB much more into play. There was a slightly favorable tailwind right to left here in day one, which will help those hyzers push as far as possible. Isaac, a clean swing, a great shot, and almost acing here. Hole 13, totally blind from the tee. He does not have any idea how close he just was until he walks up there and sees it.
Wow, impressive, and honestly a great showcase of the power of Isaac Robinson. He's not known for being a long thrower, but reaching this hole with ease. Anthony Barela obviously able to go much wider. I'd say this is the biggest distance advantage hole on the course, as it's 150 meters fully open if you just swing it out wide with a right-hand backhand hyzer. And there you go, 3 shots in the circle. These players showing that if you have the power, it's really not that difficult of a hole, especially in today's wind. I could see this hole in a headwind being insanely challenging, even playing well above par.
I would totally agree. Mauri, not known as a distance player either, although perfectly proficient. I think one of the best parts of Mauri's game is how well balanced it is. He has the distance on the backhand, on the forehand, and we know on the putt as well. As he looks to deliver another big one, that one quite shy. A little bit more hyzer angle than I think he has been putting in previous putts there.
Paul, big miss there. Had a chance to completely erase the double bogey with the second birdie in a row, not taking the chance and losing a stroke to both Anthony and most likely Isaac on the card. Mauri.
Yeah, trickles out for the par. An unfortunate hole to 3-putt on. I think par being the most common score found on 13. Isaac to clean up the 2 and to continue his perfect back 9 so far, sitting already at double digits on hole 13. You mentioned it, Elias. He's most likely counting pars more than birdies at this point, only 3 of them. Incredible start by Robinson, showing up once again for the major.
Moving on to the woods. One single wooded hole here in between, hole number 14. Used to be a really difficult par 3 last year. This time it has been made into a par 4. The drive is still the same, so you want to throw something on a lot of hyzer, ideally. Rather too much hyzer than too straight, as the right side woods/OB can come into play. Hopefully throw 120 meters off the tee, leave yourself with an 80 meter straight approach from the ideal position on the fairway. A lot of space on that second shot, so you can shape a bit of a straight or a left to right turning shot. Most important shot here, I'd say, being the approach, as the drive, even from less than ideal position, you usually have some sort of a shot to the green.
Isaac has gone far and he's gone left. I think, given his distance, that will open up his angle nicely to the green. AB now, quite a conservative swing. Shapes also quite the steep hyzer. Catches the edge. You see that more sparse dirt landing zone. Anywhere around there will likely be enough for a good shooter's chance on that important second, as you mentioned, Elias. Paul has had quite an up and down round, had a super hot start, slowed down towards the middle as he's looking to make a strong push now at the end of the round.
That's gonna be a good start. That was actually perfectly in line with last year's basket, just a little bit short of the most ideal sweet spot. And Mauri as well. Nice looking hyzer here.
Just digs though, doesn't get that ground play that we saw from the others. A bit unlucky there. Had a reasonable hyzer angle to get some ground play, just the earth did not cooperate with him. But a nice upshot there considering his unideal position. Paul as well, quite inside, tucking this hyzer flip up the middle. Smooth.
Beautiful touch. I love his soft shots. I believe he was maybe even going with a fairway driver there. So really good touch there to eliminate the fade of that fairway driver with the hyzer flip. Barela with a putter on the other hand. No fade at all. And Isaac expecting a nice accurate approach from him, but that's not going to be the case.
I would almost say it's easier now.
Very large mistake. It's really not that difficult of an approach from there.
And this, he has to make it to continue his bogey-free round. And he does. The man hates red on the scorecard. He refuses to take it. And that one, certainly an unforced error by him, but he's done very well to clean it up. Will not be the only player taking part here on 14. And Mauri, another mishap on the green now. Potentially overthinking it after the 3-putt on 13. Does avoid the 3-putt here on 14. But sitting at only 3 under now has fallen back significantly from the pace of the rest of the card.
And those pars from Isaac and Mauri kinda hurt, as this hole was birdied 55% of the time by the players in this field. So Paul and Anthony taking the good birdies there, but rather than gaining strokes, just keeping pace with the rest of the field.
We proceed to hole 15 here at the Tallinn Song Festival grounds. This is a par 4 sitting at 200 meters. This initial tee shot will ideally be a straight to hyzer finishing shot. It's quite a generous fairway. You just need to manage the ceiling of these branches and the gaps between the trunks of these trees. You then break out anywhere into this open field, offering you your second drive, hopefully as an approach, over this OB pond and into the green. This is another hole where these trees exactly here hang over the water before the inbounds area. So you absolutely, above all, have to avoid them. We have even historically seen players hit the trees inbounds and kick back out of bounds. So top priority, get your drive in play and then do the work on the second, making sure you access the green. This first drive feels very fair and attackable. Even something like Anthony's, which might not be ideal, will often leave you a chance on the second.
Yeah, really the mistake to avoid here on the first drive is that left side OB. So if you are not in the left side OB and even somewhat hit the gap, you usually have a shot to the green. As both of our first 2 drives are pretty short, Isaac looking to correct on that, and this is the perfect shot. You couldn't place it in a much better position. He's gonna have a nice straight to hyzer shot from there. Just about 75 meters left.
Compared to Isaac's soft flex line, we see Mauri on the hyzer line, and the woes continue for him. He finds that left side OB, you foreshadowed, Elias. And that approach, even getting caught up on the edge of the bush, I think he'll have another forehand clean out of there, but really just a little bit uncomfortable for Mauri now on the course between this hole and the 2 previous. We go to Paul, looking to find the green. A clean swing. He hits the gap. He controls the distance perfectly. He finds himself in the circle. Anthony, also a lot of work left.
Yep, about 100 meters from here. If you want to miss, you definitely want to miss on the long side, just as AB is doing. I love that. I'm not even going to call that a mistake, as that's exactly the side to miss on if you want to. No scary putt from there, as the OB is far enough away from the basket. And Isaac, perfect line. That's how you play this hole. Just put the drive in the perfect spot, approach a little bit long and make your putt from in the circle.
There is the forehand Mauri is left with out of the bush. This one came out with hyzer, flipped up nicely to flat, rides into the green. I would definitely agree, Elias, on that approach. You want to go long, given the danger short and the potential even to eagle hole 15. You can really give it a chance on the second. A nasty spit out for Paul there on the right. That was a low right side, traditionally somewhere that players would probably like to aim and like to connect with, but does slip out. We see Isaac connect, though, as you mentioned, perfectly played here on hole 15. For Anthony as well, a little bit more effort, same score.
Both of them already double digits on the scorecard under par. It's very good to see. As Mauri makes a bogey, disappointing bogey on this back nine. Really any hole on this course is a disappointing bogey. While this one is playing as the third most difficult hole, still averaging under par by just a hair.
We are here. We are one. We will fight. We will fall. We will prevail. From the fjords of Norway to the shores of Spain, from the fire of Iceland to the hope of Ukraine, 30 countries, one voice. Go Europe.
Thank you, PDJ. A lot of PDGA officials to be seen on the course in this event. They're making their great work to keep it professional, and we really appreciate it. As we're moving on to another really scoreable hole, hole 16. It's quite technical with the low ceiling and a gap off the tee, but really besides that, no danger on this hole. If you hit an early tree, you might kick OB left or OB right, but the gap is wide enough where really keeping it the right height with the right stability disc is the danger, or excuse me, the challenge on this one. I would even expect, while the distance is only 95, to see mostly fairway drivers because of the low ceiling.
And I like fairway here a lot. You can throw a more controlled, touchy shot and an interesting sight into the preferred release angle on gap hits. We saw from Anthony there a slightly overstable disc released flat. Even Anheuser shaping the flex. See Isaac also common for his swing, a very flat release. Some players opt for something on a hyzer that will flip up. I predict Paul potentially to shape more of a hyzer flip up than a flex, as we saw from Anthony.
Beautiful release. That is the perfect release for this hole, keeping it slightly nose up. And what a beautiful shot. We saw Isaac, I believe, went with the mid-range there even. So definitely the player's choice. Mauri, I also like his form for these low shots, really keeping the body weight near the ground, crouching over a little bit on that front leg. And everybody with good shots here, to be expected, but usually at least one player on the card is struggling with the ceiling or with the gap.
Mauri, the longest putt of the four, flick of the wrist, finds the chains. He continues to try and forge a path below par. Now at 3 under with 2 holes to go. Good putt from Anthony there. This elevated basket often has quite a nice gallery of people, not just standing, but also walking, as we see it situated between 2 entrances and near the vendor area. There's a lot of action, so also worth noting that as the players try to line up their putts, there's probably some movement and potential distractions around them, but they're professionals. They know how to handle that. We move on. Hole 17, a familiar looking shape that you might recognize from earlier in the course. A pure tunnel shot, similar distance to the last hole, this par 3, although slightly downhill. You have to hit the gap, avoid the initial 2 mandos. They don't really come into play. They're more just to prevent a pure hyzer. You want to control your speed and your angle. Try to hit the ground somewhere near this path here and skip your way up into the green. This is another hole that, as you're closing out your round, could potentially provide some danger with a tree kick, but given that it's downhill, given that it's a pretty stock straight shot, something that a lot of players can manage.
That's a really, really nice flight from AB. I actually like AB's style of throwing for this hole, as he often discs up to that faster disc on these short holes. And on this one, because of the uphill and low ceiling, the fast disc really suits the fairway, as Isaac pushing the ceiling, but gonna be okay.
Very smooth, piercing shots.
And this hole is not quite as easy as these guys are making it look. Everybody in the circle. Wow, good stuff. I mean, the gap is missable. The gap is pretty wide for the distance of the hole. But with uphill, you still have to throw it pretty hard. And if you're uncomfortable at all with a release, it's easy to kick OB left or right. This has a similar vibe as hole number 8, which you might have seen on the front 9, with OB both left and right. So any trick kick can be detrimental.
Isaac finds 13 under going into the final hole 18. An incredible score. Currently situated at solo first. This second feature card, the majority of the field is in the clubhouse, have locked in their rounds. 13 would secure him that position. Elias, talk to us about 18, a fun and exciting final hole.
Definitely fun and exciting. It's an island hole. If you miss the inbounds area, you have to go to a drop zone about 75-80 meters away. To be honest, the island is pretty big, and I even told Connor before this tournament that I'm gonna say that no player on our feature cards or chase cards that we're filming is going to be OB on this hole. And I still stand by that statement. I'm interested to see what happens. But you're trying to throw a big hyzer to the right, fade into the circle, hopefully spike it down and get no skips. Green is really favorable, perfectly flat, slightly thick grass, so not that many skips to be had if you take that spike hyzer angle.
And it's a bold claim you make there, Elias, but the island is big. Players are the best in the world. Anthony is tombstoned inside the circle. Isaac to close out a bogey-free round here if he can get himself inbounds.
It's looking like inbounds, but very far left of the basket. He really didn't push it far enough to the right. It's quite surprising with the downhill grade and the slope of the hill. You can even throw it right side of that tall tower, as Paul is going pretty much towards the tower on the right. It's a great aiming point. You can see even going towards the tower, he's still gonna be too far left. But if you want to miss on this hole, you'd rather miss left than right, as the right side OB it can come into play if you push it too wide.
Mauri with a significantly lower shot than the others and more piercing. That has a flip up more than a pure hyzer, comes in so fast and does settle. Elias's pride and honor on the line, his analysis skills maintained throughout the first round. 4 inbounds players. Isaac for 14. Does not connect. Paul for 11 under. Also just shy these long circle 2 bids on the final hole, asking a lot of these players.
Mauri another miss, as Anthony Barela a chance to tie Isaac Robinson for 13, and there he goes. What an incredible round. Honestly, a great second feature card. Our second feature card feels like the first feature card, as we're gonna have 2 of the hot rounds. And Paul McBeth shooting 10 under. That's gonna be one of the more disappointing 10 unders, I imagine, as he had such a hot start. Had all of the opportunity to match or even improve from 13 unders of Anthony and Isaac.
And just like that, a quarter of the European Disc Golf Festival is complete here. Our MPO field has posted the scores, has set the level of play, and the fans have enjoyed every moment.
Isaac Robinson, scorching hot 13 down, 1086 rated opening round here at the European Disc Golf Festival. Tell us about it.
Yeah, everything felt good today. I've been putting a lot of work into the approach shots and the putting. Basically using the last 2 tournaments in Europe, the ones in Norway, as just a warm-up for the majors. So really finding my groove at the right time, and things were just clicking out there.
Your performance at the majors have been truly heroic over the last few years. Tell us about the preparation and mindset you take into these biggest level events of our sport.
Yeah, with the 4-round majors, I try to keep myself in it at all times, and so Big thing of that is just getting off clean on the tee pad round 1 and just keeping yourself in contention all week, and then hopefully having a chance to take it down. That's my goal, and so I was happy to do that today.
Big crowds here in Estonia. What do you think about the place and the people?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite courses. It plays pretty easy if there's no wind, but the venue and the crowd is just already. I think I said they had 2,000 people out here on the grounds today. So that's a Thursday afternoon. So I'm looking forward to the weekend.
What can we expect to see from you moving forward here?
Yeah, I'd like to shoot double digits every round. I think that's what you're going to need to take this tournament down, unless the weather changes, and then we'll see.
All right, excellent start. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck.
Thank you.
We see the standings. Anthony Barela, Isaac Robinson, 2 of our second feature card, leading the field. Behind them, we have Luke Taylor, Calvin Lundqvist, Luke Humphreys, Raven Newsom, Ezra Aderhold, and the names continue, as will the rounds of this amazing coverage. Thank you for joining us as always. Thank you for tuning in, supporting European Disc Golf. Click all the YouTube buttons, do all the things, hit that bell, write a comment about how handsome Elias is, and more than anything, make sure to join us there in the second round. Elias, a pleasure.
Thank you, Connor, and thank you guys for watching so much. Please join us for a second round chase card coverage in another day. See you there.